Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over the PM Silver Bullet session for Wednesday, August 9th. We're going to go candle by candle, and I'm going to explain what I see and how you could have traded this. Alright, so let's go. Let's start. Alright, so we got some relatively equal lows right here. Obviously they're always suspect, so we like to see if price is going to reach for those or target those, so we'll see what happens here. Alright, so we have a market structure shift right here. Why is that a market structure shift and why not that one? Well, that created they're relatively equal, so you can use this one or this one. Okay, so for right now, I'm just marking out. And there's a fair value gap right here. I'll just mark it out here and see what happens here. Okay. Okay. That leaves behind a fair value gap. And there's another market structure shift, right? So you have both. You can use either one. The fact is that this is the swing high that created this swing low, correct? That's the swing high that created this swing low, correct? They're both the same, so you can use either or. It's personal preference. You know, it depends what you want to see. Either way, we didn't get into a fair value gap or create one until this one was hit, so it doesn't really matter. Had this not been hit and traded into this fair value gap, would I have taken it? Probably, and had my stop below this. However, with that happening and this being relatively equal lows, it's lower probability. It's probably like a B setup at that point. Now that there's two fair value gaps, I feel a little bit better about taking a trade into a fair value gap with two swing the two swing highs that created the two lows that get taken out. I'm happy. I prefer a candle close above, but if it trades in, I'll take a trade, knowing I got two PD rays protecting price. See, that would have triggered me in. Ugh, horrible fill on trading view. I want to enter down here, so I probably should have taken that trade there, and that's where I got to enter in. So I'm gonna buy two, knowing that it would have been down here. Okay, so I'm gonna put I would have entered right here. My stop would have been below the first candle of the 3-candle pattern for the fair value gap. However, there's a fair value gap there, so I'd go one below it. It's still only 2.5 points. It's fine. Where am I targeting? This is a buy-side liquidity. If you watched another video that I had earlier of the market maker cycle, that's what that is. That's the top of the market maker cycle that I did that video on. That's that draw on liquidity. So that's what we're aiming there. And I'd take partials at the top of this fair value gap right here. That's about 60%. So just kind of targets where I would be targeting. Okay, so let's go with one here. Let's see what happens. Horrible fill on trading view. I just can't believe it's that bad. Okay, bullish volume imbalance. That's a good sign. Another bullish volume imbalance. That's a good sign. All right, there you go. Oh. I'm going to need to close closer to that, take my partials. Okay, there you go. I'll sell one there. Okay, now we do have a fair value gap right here. Let's see, if it takes that, I'm going to measure it and see if it's over 5 handles for our target. It is. So if it comes back in here, I would take a trade. I'd take another trade. And I would just, you know, I would buy two. Because I always buy two to try and take a partial. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Okay. Oof, didn't get me in there. My stop's already at break even for the first one. Right. I should probably put that on because if we do take another trade, it's going to get confusing. Where my first stop would be. Okay, so right now it's right here. I'm taking a partial, it's right there. Okay, that would have triggered me in, so I will buy 2 there. So there's our thing. We'd move our stop. Gosh, we got to go way up here though. We got to go up underneath this volume imbalance. Right there. So now I've got 3 contracts. So if I take one off for a partial, I'd still have 2 to close it out. Okay. All right, we'll do that. We'll go here, we'd get in there, and we'd target our line here. Stop would go right here, so let's move this to where our stop would be. Right there. Okay. So I take a partial off a close, any close above this high would be my new partial. So let's mark that on the chart so you can see it. This would be where I would be taking a partial at. And move my stop to break even. Ooh, that didn't do it. Alright, so I've got to take 2 off here. I got to take 1 off there and 1 off there because 1 would have been a partial for this one and 1 was this one taking it off, right? So there's those 2. My stop is now so far up because it's so high. I'm like, we're literally within a tick or 2 away. So, alright, that would have taken us out right there. So I'll flatten it. And let's see how the rest of it, let's get rid of this. Let's get confusing. See how the rest of the hour gets played out. Take these off. Alright, so we started here. We saw that we created 2 sell-side liquidity relatively equal lows. Traded up, broke structure, left behind a couple fair value gaps. We entered on one of the fair value gaps, aiming for the top of the market maker buy model target. It's in another video that I posted, but that's our target. Where that target is right here, this high. We took partials at the top of this fair value gap right here. But we noticed that we had another fair value gap, and so we wanted to know if we wanted a pyramid entry into it, add to our position. We measured from the top of the fair value gap here, and that was over 5 handles. So we're like, you know what, let's take another trade, lower our risk, move our other stop up so we're in profit. We took another trade after we just took partials. We took 1 off for the first one, moved our stop to break even, came back in, added to our position, moved our stop even further up on the first one, and then we took partials here, which actually took us out of the first 2 trades, and then the next candle took us out. So that is your 2 silver bullet session trade setups for Wednesday, August 9th.